Do you want to know what happens if you use Shirelia's Reverie when your Kog'Maw's dead and he's running around with his Icathan Surprise passive? Check out our sponsors at Stack Exchange Gaming to see the answers to questions like these and more submitted by gamers who love experimenting and helping each other out. If you have a question that you've always wanted an answer to, or know everything that there is to know about League of Legends, head on over to gaming.stackexchange.com and help build a knowledge base for players everywhere.
Yeah, and it's just a great site. I mean, I've checked it out a few times. I put up a question there recently. It's a good site to use. It's informative. It has thoughtful questions. It has thoughtful answers. And so yeah, I mean, I encourage everybody to use it and to answer and ask questions. And there's actually a contest regarding that going on.
Yeah, there is a contest. Stack Exchange is giving away 2 gaming consoles to the best question and the best answer. So one for each, obviously. League of Legends related, running from now until March 21st. So that is this coming Wednesday, I believe. We will announce it on stream, of course, and they will be doing this as the tournament progresses. Of course, this is just the first round. We go through March 31st, so they should have a couple more of these giveaways. Very excited about that. I've put in a couple answers. I've got to think up some questions. But, yeah, certainly you have to check out the site because the questions and answers are ones that I've always wondered about. The ones that I just quoted, the Ahri using Charm Highlander Yi, that was actually up on the site the other day. So, all these little tidbits that kind of make you wonder. Luckily, there's a whole community of tons of League of Legends players that have already tried these things out. So you don't need to, bug a bunch of your friends to get in a custom game so you can, work out these kind of unusual situations. Just go onto the site and see what happens. There's probably the answer there for you already. And if the answer isn't there, ask the question and let the community help you out.
Alright, now going back to this game, what do you think about Skarner's chances in his own jungle as Shyvana is going to be looking to do a lot of counter jungling?
I think Shyvana, or rather Skarner, is going to have the same issue as Warwick did. Obviously, we saw TSM was very, very adamant about getting into that jungle level 1, warding that blue buff, making sure that the odd one had the opportunity on Shyvana to sneak in behind that Warwick, get that early damage on him, get that first blood on him, which really just kind of set the whole game in motion in TSM's favor. The ball just started rolling in their favor and just kept on rolling. Of course, took the red buff away from that Warwick, and then they were just able to sit around and force middle to just sit next to his turret, miss out on a ton of creeps because Warwick wasn't around in the jungle. Alistar was kind of roaming down towards middle, and really they just had complete control and scared that Xerath to the extent that he missed out on probably about 5 waves worth of creeps in overall. Reginald on Rise there went back with about 45 CS, and I believe Xerath was still at 17 or so. So that was a huge advantage given to Rise and middle, all because of that level 1 invade where they put that ward down and allowed Shyvana to sneak in behind the Warwick later on. Already had the red buff advantage, of course, had the exhaust advantage, and was just able to pick up the kill.
Yeah, it was pretty rough for Warwick as well. Just trying to establish his own jungle control afterwards. He tried to do a little bit of countering, but it didn't really work out. Shyvana and TSM in general just had too much power over both jungles.
Yeah, and just like that Warwick, Skarner's really relying on that blue buff early levels. I always feel the one reason I don't like playing Skarner that much is because I always want that blue buff, and normally I am forced to give it away to my AP middle. So we'll see if Skarner tries to lord over that blue buff or does give it away to that Gragas running Gragas Esquire, one of my favorite skins. So we'll see how that goes and how it progresses. The one thing I would say is Raise Your Weapon does have a stronger level 1 team. They have Alistar now, they have the Udyr, they have Skarner who essentially has perma-slow with his Q, but at the same time, TSM still has a very strong level 1 team, too. They have Morgana's Snare, they have Shyvana, who just does a ton of damage, and of course they have Tarek's Stun. that combined with Olaf's axe and his axe, I just feel like, yeah, they're gonna go for an invade, but it looks like both teams are gonna meet up middle here. Yeah, they both see each other. And TSM's being very aggressive, pushing them all the way back into their turret. So it looks like maybe there won't be an invade just by virtue of them kind of heading off there. Neither of them can sneak into the bushes too conspicuously.
Yep, Chaos putting out that to try to check in the bushes. Looks like the Razor Weapon's going to go on the opposite side, actually. And they aren't going to meet just yet. They could try going back to the blue side. And it looks like TSM is just going for the exact same path that they went last game. Going for the blue side, maybe putting a ward down, then backing off.
Yeah, although this time they leave no ward at first, and then they back up, and Tarek does put down that ward. I always like saying Tarek, but I think the proper pronunciation is Tarek. Looks like TSM is going to back, and Razor Weapon is going towards that blue. Oh, nope, at the last moment, Urgot cancels his teleport back to base, and they do have that ward. They see that Tristan is going back, so they're going to continue on with this invade. Oh, it looks like Razor Weapon knows it's coming. They do back out. Tarek flashes in to get the stun. Oh, lands a lot of damage on that Scar, and he has to flash away. So, yeah, the level 1 invade proves to be pretty strong again. That Skarner is at about a quarter life, so he's just going to have to back off. I'm not sure if he's going to back or if they're going to contest this fight here. They don't really have any sight in there, so I don't think they can just roam into the jungle. But as I say that, they do go in. Skarner almost catches Urgot, but he just teleports back just in time, and TSM gets away for them with that early blue buff. Skarner set significantly behind. His big wolf is gone. His blue buff is gone, and he was down at about a quarter life. So now he is going to have to roam through the jungle. It's going to be significantly slower for him without that blue buff. And also, we see kind of an exchange in roles here as Alistar for Razor Weapons was camping middle, was looking to get, go on the aggressive side there. But now he just wards the blue buff for TSM's blue buff. He wards it for Razor Weapon, and he's sitting middle still. Was a little bit tempted to go in there, but he is spotted out by TSM. Not certain how he was spotted. They just knew he was there, and CV comes in afterwards, so of course they didn't know he was actually there. They just kind of believed he was.
Yep, and it was actually funny earlier. Chaos was trying to get back, but a minion had come up from a little bit of fighting and attacked him, so he had to kill that one minion before he could back off, and that almost meant that he got caught by Razor Weapon. Now, it looks like Morgana is going to get this blue buff as the odd one has Razor Weapon's blue, so that's going to really help Morgana put a lot of pressure early on this Gragas.
Oh yeah, that is really unfortunate. I've had that opportunity as a Morgana to just spam down my Tormenting Soil, all the time. Oh, and she lands a great snare there into Tormented Soil, and Gragas is all the way down to about 15% life. So he pops a health potion, but he's going to be in pain. Of course, he's luckily one of the few AP carries with some sustain. All of his spells, I believe, heal about 2% of his life. I'm not entirely certain on that, and sure we can actually pop that up and see his passive, but he does have sustain, like Morgana has sustain, but of course now she has blue buff. She has a lot of sustain from just laying that Tormented Soil down on those creeps.
Yep, and it looks like Shyvana is just going through her own jungle, clearing quickly. Skarner has to go back already. He is only level 2 while Shyvana is level 3, and Shyvana's going to get really far ahead right now because she's able to just go through her jungle while Skarner is just going back at level 2.
Yeah, and Shyvana does just hit level 4. She's going to keep on clearing here. Really, she could continue clearing, till her heart's content. She has boots and cloth armor already, some health potions, so she can keep clearing the small camps. We'll see if she decides to come top for a gank. It does look like Shyvana is heading that way.
Yep, she's going to go in this direction. The lane is a bit pushed, so I don't know how much of a chance she's going to have. She just pops in the bush and then backs off, going down. Maybe looking to... No, she's just going back to her own jungle now. A purple ping went down in the jungle in Razor Weapons jungle. Probably just looking for a CV from a special to maybe to get an idea of where Skarner is at the moment. They weren't able to catch him, but Skarner is really behind.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty impressed by the Gragas play here. He is 13 minions down, but he's back up to nearly full life, so he's doing a pretty good job of that. Unfortunately for him, Morgana's just continuing putting the pressure on. Without a gank, he's going to be a lot of trouble. Shyvana, meanwhile, is just taking the race right across the way from that Gragas. I was going to say, might go down to that red and catch out the Skarner. Does, in fact, see the Skarner. Oh, the smite luckily goes down for the Skarner, but doesn't matter because Skarner is going to get exhausted and then taken down by that Shyvana. And it is just a repeat of last game with that first blood taken at the buff. That exhaust and attacks from Shyvana, just too much, especially to a jungler who's already a little bit behind from that invade.
Yep. And there was some action below in bot lane as it looked like they were trying to maybe come up and help, but I mean both teams just backed off as they saw that Shyvana just killed them quickly and left.
Up top, Olaf is farming a little bit better than Udyr there. Actually has about 14 minions in his favor. He's going on the aggressive now, throws down an axe, and gets his E, his reckless blowdown on there. That is certainly hurting Udyr, but Udyr's been doing a pretty good job of sustaining, using his turtle shell to block a lot of those hits. And Olaf is getting a little bit low on mana, so I'm not certain who's going to run out of life first, or rather, whether Udyr's going to run out of life or Olaf is going to run out of mana first. That is kind of the question. But at this point, Olaf is being so forceful that he's forcing Udyr to miss out on a lot of those CS.
Yep, down at bot we see Chaos and Xpecial putting a lot of pressure on the bot lane, using that stun and the homing missiles of Chaos to just basically deal a lot of damage. Now, right now we see Shyvana going for the second blue buff with Morgana. Probably going to try to donate this to Morgana if possible. And they're going to take this so quickly that... Oh, actually, Shyvana takes it.
I think that might have been either red buff or burnout that took it there. And now they're just going to sit around, wait. That Skarner level 4, oh my goodness, gets immediately ulted by Morgana. That is almost not even fair. Oh, the Gragas ult does come down, does a lot of damage to Shyvana, but it's all for naught. Shyvana's just going to be able to back out there. And now they really want to dive this Udyr. That is kind of frightening. Shyvana does land the snare, puts down the Tormented Soil. He's going to take some damage. Does get to put down the Ignite on him. Oh, and Dyrus does just run in there and picks up the kill with his Reckless Blow. Meanwhile, Odd One took another tower hit, almost went down from that. Last game we saw him go down a couple times to some kind of wayward tower hits that I guess he wasn't expecting, but does get out fine this time, and that is a 3-0 lead in TSM's favor. Already over almost a 2.5k gold advantage for them.
Yeah, and we're kind of seeing a repeat of last game, just the early advantage in the jungle, allowing Shyvana to just have her way, take those jungle buffs, and establish control of both jungles.
Yeah, but now we see Raise Your Weapon trying to steal back the other blue buff. Shyvana's not incredibly worried about it yet. She's taking her own wolves. And Raise Your Weapon, oh, I think Skarner did just get caught out there. Shyvana gets knocked up, body slammed. She, of course, has no escape. She's just burning out to try to get away. But Urgot's going to come in there, land some damage. And wow,
Yeah,
looks like Skarner's going to go down from that snare, that Tormented Soil. No, but Gragas goes down first. It's kind of cornered by everyone. Oh my goodness, Udyr comes down with a teleport, but I don't know that he's going to be able to turn the tides of this battle. Tristan is putting down some pretty good damage. The Pulverize goes out from Raise Your Weapons, and Skarner comes back in. Tristana with the rocket jump and the ignite, but is not going to be able to take out that Shyvana. Couldn't land the buster shot on her, so instead just buster shots to kind of disengage from this fight. Oh, fail flash from Udyr means he goes down, and Skarner is kind of stuck in no man's land. He is just going to get caught here. I don't think there's any two ways about it. Unfortunately for Taric on Xpecial, he doesn't have the stun. Oh, and meanwhile, Morgana picks up the kill on Tristan. I was so excited seeing that Scorpion trying to scurry away, and he did get away, still had his flash up, so he just barely got away because Taric didn't have the stun to really hold him down. Meanwhile, all that battle's going on. Dyrus is just sitting up top, taking down that turret.
Yep, and it looks like he is going to be able to take down that turret, and that's going to give TSM a huge advantage right now. They're going to have an early turret, and they're going to have that 6-0 lead in kills, and Raise Your Weapon didn't even manage to take that blue buff in the end.
That is really unfortunate. They really, really wanted that blue buff. It is still warded. The odd one's a little bit tentative running into it. Of course, he's at about third life, but there's not going to be any challenge to it. It will go to Reginald again if Burnout doesn't take it, and Burnout doesn't take it this time. So that is good for Reginald. We'll be able to farm up on Morgana even more. Already has 70 CS to 44 of Gragas, so that is a huge advantage.
Yep, it looks like TSM is going to look to take this dragon. Now, I don't think Razor Weapon is in position to challenge it, and they're going to take it down really fast, so this is going to go down before Razor Weapon even has a chance to go there. And this vision ward let them know that there were no wards there.
Yep, and that'll be back up at 16:44. Of course, everyone remember Dragon's 6-minute respawn timer. Always good to keep the time on that. Oh, Chaos on Urgot putting down some damage on that Tristana. It takes 2/3 of her life just from one of his combinations. And of course, one of the reasons that they couldn't challenge that dragon, despite the fact that they had no wards, was that Udyr was top and didn't have his teleport anymore. He used his teleport for the last fight. Unfortunately, it didn't really help them out, but he's just back up there farming. But Olaf now has a 2-level advantage, of course, has that dragon under his belt, and has that earlier kill on Udyr when they all decided to tower dive him.
Yeah, and Tristana actually was taken down very low by Urgot, had to back off, and Urgot's just really dominating her in this lane right now. Tristana has about 59 CS, while Urgot has more than 20 CS more than that.
Yeah, that is a rather big advantage, although that might be the closest lane up to this point. Of course, Urgot farming, splendidly. Chaos, a very good farmer, has that Brutalizer and a Doran's Blade, so it is kind of interesting. He starts off with 2 offensive items, and then I suspect he'll go into the Frozen Heart once again, just maxing that cooldown reduction. But you never know. He might try out something different. Certainly, they are far enough in the lead that he could experiment with a build. So we'll see when he heads on back. Let's see how much gold he has in store there. He has over 1,000 gold, saved up. So certainly will have a bigger advantage when he heads back. Alistar looked like he was going to jump in there, but decides to just back out. So Chaos is able to farm, even though he's all alone down there.
Yep, and it looks like the Odd One and Iris looking for another counter jungling opportunity, or just to catch Skarner in his jungle once again. Skarner's going to go back into the other side and put a ward down before starting it, and now it looks like, down at bottom blue we have some action going down. Xpecial taking down Tristana as Alistar actually takes down Chaos, but so I think both supports getting some staying alive as they get kills.
Yeah, that's not necessarily how you want it to go. And now Xpecial's in a little bit of trouble here as Gragas comes on down. Oh, a nice pulverize there from Alistar. Xpecial is ulted by the Scorpion, also ulted by that cask throw of Gragas, and he does go down. I think there was an ignite used too. So they were, making sure he was not getting away. Meanwhile, the TSM was just taking mid. They're like, oh, everyone's bottom killing our support? Okay, we will just take your middle turret. So they probably don't mind that exchange too much. The one thing is, Xpecial, of course, that was his first death, I believe, so he was worth that 300 gold. Sometimes, the supports just keep on dying, and then they end up being worth nothing. Oh, wow. Reginald lands a nice snare on Tristana, then ults and gets a little bit of help from the burnout damage of Shyvana, and a kill goes down. So you have to be worried about that when you go to far middle. There's some big AP carries around there. Definitely don't get caught by their spells. That time it led to a swift death from that Tristy. For that Tristy, rather.
Yep, and TSM right now looking to take control of this game. They're more than 7k gold ahead right now, more than that actually, and they look really good right now.
Yep, Skarner gets caught by a snare and a tormented soil. It takes him about 2/3 life, or 2/3 of his life, down to about 1/3. Reginald just continuing to farm up. He has a lot of gold in the bank. He has 1,400 gold saved up. I'm very interested in seeing what his next item is going to be. I would suspect Azonia's Hourglass, as I said earlier in Champion Select. That seems to be the favored build for Morganas. But we will see as the game progresses, as he goes back to buy. Should be pretty soon, because he has 1,500 gold.
Yep, and engagement going down bottom. Tristana is taken down really low. Chaos following, gets... actually, Reginald picks up that kill as he comes down from top, and Urgot picks up the kill on Alistar. So that's 2 more kills for TSM.
Morgana was just like, thank you very much, but now she gets caught in the jungle. She does ult, but she gets ulted by Gragas and Skarner. It still is okay, and Tarek is coming down, probably going to be able to heal her a little bit. Skarner taken so low from that Urgot. Oh, barely gets away, has to flash away because he was in the tormented soil. Oh, and Udyr comes down. Everyone wants a piece on Raise Your Weapon. They are going for the aggressive. He does flash in the stun and Tiger Stance that Morgana, but Reginald just kind of jukes out of the way. Man, now a rocket jump from Tristana. Oh, but it looks like Morgana's still going to stay alive. A heal goes down from Chaos on Urgot. And Shyvana came in just at the right time, and Chaos picks up the kill on Alistar. So they really, really wanted to kill Morgana, but Morgana is deceptively tanky with that black shield, with that spell vamp. Oh, and they just, yeah, that was just a world of pain for them. I think they lost 5 people, like, overall, you know, between the, you know, tower dive bottom and then the ensuing team fight in the jungle.
Yep, and TSM just had really good positioning compared to Raise Your Weapon there. They stayed as a group, making sure their low life champions didn't take too much damage, while Raise Your Weapon just went in and basically 1 by 1 and fell each, 1 at a time.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. I really thought Morgana was going to go down, got ulted by both Gragas and by Skarner, and normally that results in death, but not in this instance. Now they're all kind of focusing on Dyrus top. Skarner's there. Gragas kind of body slams in, but Dyrus is just going to ghost away, and you're not going to be able to catch him. He still has his ultimate up, I think. He didn't even have to burn that. So had he been CC'd, he would have used that to break it and just run away unharassed. And Dragon is back up, so it looks like TSM will probably go for that. But, nope, the odd one on Shyvana is going after Tristana, and with help of Reginald on Morgana, they do take that out.
Odd one actually taking a lot of tower hits. They're going for this Alistar and misses that bind, but just able to use the ultimate to finish him off. And now this is going to allow them to take that dragon for free if they want. The odd one going there. Dyrus is also in position for it. But it looks like they might just take it by themselves. They're definitely strong enough to do it, while the rest of TSM just pushes the lanes.
Yeah, whenever the battle is very close, or even relatively close, you want to have your whole team there to protect that dragon. But at this point, they probably knew where all of Raise Your Weapon was. They knew it wasn't going to be challenged, so just the Olaf and Shyvana were enough to take it down. Meanwhile, Morgana is camping out in this bush. I was mistaken. I thought she would go Zhonya's Hourglass first, decides to go with the Rabadon's Death Cap, and is lined up. Oh, misses the snare there on Tristana. That was unfortunate. That would have been a lot of damage. Of course, she doesn't have her ultimate up. She had to use that to get the kill on Alistar. It's probably, I don't know how she would have followed that up. I guess Chaos could have landed his combination and probably spammed him down. Speaking of Chaos, it does look like he's going with a Frozen Heart again. Oops, sorry.
Over at mid, we see Skarner trying to stop Dyrus, but he's really behind Dyrus at this point, and I don't know how much he's going to be able to do. That Reckless Swing doing a lot of damage. The ultimate goes down, but he's just going to he uses his ultimate to get away, and he just walks away, even though there are 3 members of Raise Your Weapon there.
Yeah, of course, there's certain champions that you don't want to use your suppression ultimates on. And, you know, suppression ultimates, Malzahar, I believe Urgot is technically a suppression, and Warwick and Skarner. That would be the 4. And if you use them on Gangplank, for example, or Olaf, or Alistar, they have skills that just break them. So if they have their ultimates up in the case of Alistar or Olaf, or if they have their oranges up in the case of Gangplank, you just don't want to do it.
Yep, the odd one right here gets caught, and 4 members of Raise Your Weapon are there. Dragoning out is the odd one, and is probably going to get away. She uses that move speed bonus from Burnout, and is walking away. Down at bot, we see that Chaos has taken out Tristana in another battle. Oh, a great ultimate from Gragas, but he's the only one chasing at this point, and he's actually going to be in trouble as an exhaust goes down, but Udyr comes up to help, and nothing happening there. So down at bottom, Chaos actually took down Tristana. I wasn't able to catch that because I was following the chase up top, but TSM is going to take this tower, and they are... Oh, they get a bind on the Alistar, and Alistar is in trouble. He's taking a lot of damage. He pops his ultimate, but it's not enough as he falls. Now, Chaos is taking the turret, but they're able to take it down. They're going to put a lot of damage on this inhibitor now and try to take it down before they back off.
Yeah, Morgana did something relatively interesting there. She flashed in as if she was going to ultimate both Skarner and that Alistar, but I'm pretty sure her ultimate was on cooldown for quite a while. So I'm not sure if, Reginald forgot that the cooldown was up in that instance, or perhaps, was just posturing as if it were up. Yep. Oh, meanwhile, Gragas somehow takes down that Shyvana finally. That was a really long fight. Probably was going on since we left him a while back.
Yeah, and Gragas finishing her off with that one barrel that gives another kill for RYW Weapon to make it 17-3 in favor of TSM.
He gets all that killing spree bonus gold, 399 extra gold. So Gragas, pretty strong, pretty strong. He's probably upset that his team didn't chase that dragon down earlier. I mean, dragons are fun to chase. I would do it. They should just make a game entirely based on chasing dragons, and I would play that all the time. But regardless, yeah, Gragas was so intent on catching up to her, and then nearly got taken down by Shyvana. I don't know how the fight eventually turned in the favor of Gragas. Obviously we were down there watching that inhibitor get taken, watching them take out that Tristana again, but meanwhile, Gragas doing work.
Yep, and now it looks like TSM is still trying to push. We have Tristana a little bit out of position, but getting back. Skarner's getting back and trying to defend. They have one inhibitor down, and they really want to defend this one tower so that they don't have two inhibitors. And Urgot engaging, now getting them out of position. Now it's a 4-on-3 right now, but we have Tristana coming in. Boscow getting really long. Gragas gets taken down really quickly. Morgana with her ult takes them down, doing a lot of damage. And now Skarner is the only one left. Or sorry, no, Udyr's still there, but he's really low and can't be in the fight. Skarner gets taken down, and that is a 4-0 trade in favor of TSM.
Hey, you know things are going badly when the other team is pushing down your inhibitors when they are missing one of their teammates. Olaf was just in the back there. Wasn't part of that fight, but TSM didn't need him. Just kept on pushing down. Anyways, it did show how strong that Morgana ult was. That was surprisingly beastly. This early in the game, just walked in there, popped it, and immediately everyone's life just dropped.
Yep, and they're going to just dive on Udyr and take him down pretty easily. Actually, Taric falls to Gragas, and looks like Darius is taking the turret. They're really low, so they're going to have to back off. But for a second, it looked like they wanted to win this game outright right now. And they're just going to try to put up more damage, getting Gragas really low, and Chaos flashing in, taking down Gragas. Chaos is really low, though, and Original actually takes down Tristana meanwhile. Chaos doing so much damage, and with that Tormented Soul, it takes down Skarner. And now it looks like they're just going to win this game outright as they have aced RYW Weapon.
And they will be moving on to the next stage in this tournament. It was a good game from RYW Weapon, or I believe they'll be moving on. I think that's how the group stages work, but maybe we'll check back with the runners of it. But it was amazing there how everyone on TSM was getting low, and Chaos is like, okay, you guys are all low, all my tanks are low, I'm going to tank this, and that is another luxury of being tanker got, building that, rushing that Frozen Heart, and just standing there, letting Tristana wail away at him, letting Gragas body slam into him. Doesn't even bother him. Just going to stand there, tank long enough for his teammates to do enough damage. Yep.
Alright, so that is the game for today for TSM. And RYW Weapon, sorry. We have other games going on, and we have other games later today, so check those out. I will give you the schedule. Actually, Sotier will give you the schedule for the rest of today.
Will I give you the schedule for the rest of the day?
Whoa,
I think we should probably have that popped up on the stream, because I don't have it handy. I don't know exactly what the later games coming are, and I don't have that pulled up on my computer either. So we will certainly get that to you very shortly here.
Okay, the games later today are Epic versus Team Subterfuge on the GG Chronicle channel. It is going to be in about an hour, 15 minutes. It's at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time, and it is going to be cast by KDH and Monte Cristo. Another game is going to be on this channel, actually, the one you're watching right now. Team Fornot versus Ability Power is Magic, casted by Silverdirge and Frodan, so catch those.
Yeah, those should be exciting. I'm really interested to see who Epic has playing, and I don't know that there's been any post on it. I know that Westrice did, write on his Twitter account earlier that they were preparing to play in the ggClassic, so I expect them to be showing up. I just don't know who their full team is going to be.
Yeah, I don't know either. It should be interesting to watch. I mean, I know I'll be tuned in to check that out, but
Oh, no doubt.
yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching us, and stay tuned for more games later on.
Yeah, and be sure to check in with our sponsors at gaming.stackexchange.com. Of course, they're helping us bring all these North American teams together, and we also have some international teams, but they're doing this for your viewing pleasure. So check them out. It's also very informative and a really helpful site.
Yep. So I am going to. I think no, we have a lot of time left. So that is it for right now. Check back in at 4 p.m. to catch the Team 4 Not versus Ability Power is Magic game right here.